Hello, welcome to Ronaldo's. Today we're going to look at the Common or Garden Cafetiere or French press. A fabulous way to do coffee if you do it really well. And in my experience, I've found that actually it's done quite badly on the whole, and that is really down to just very poor practice. So hopefully we're going to set things right, give you some great little tips which we've discovered over the years, and get you enjoying fantastic cafetiere coffee. So I'm going to concentrate on three very common mistakes that tend to happen when making a cafetiere. And the first one is the wrong size grind. What we're looking for is really coarse grind with the cafetiere, and that is because the extraction time is going to be about 4.5 minutes in total. So what we want to do is have very, very coarse, almost chunks of coffee that allow for a longer extraction time to prevent the coffee from over-extracting and becoming too bitter. One thing that I've seen is that people will buy pre-ground coffee from a supermarket, for example. Very often it's ground for an espresso machine. And if you think about it, the extraction time on an espresso machine is only about 23, 25 seconds. So you're looking for very, very fine grind. Putting that into a cafetiere for 4.5 minutes is going to give you quite astringent coffee, even for the nicest specialty coffee that we roast here. The second problem I've encountered is that there is not enough coffee in the cafetiere to start with. Now, what we're looking for is 7.5 grams of ground coffee per 100 milliliters of hot water, okay? A milliliter and a gram are the same measurement, so it's super easy, and we can do that on the scales. So this is an 8-cup cafetiere. So 7.5 grams times 8 lots of 100 milliliters is going to give us 60 grams of ground coffee. So that is the amount of coffee that we're going to use for this 8-cup cafetiere. And the third problem I've come across is that very often people will pour the cafetiere way too quickly. And actually what we're looking for is a 4.5 minute extraction time. From the moment we put the hot water in to the moment we plunge and pour, 4.5 minutes of brew time. So don't just pour your hot water in and plunge it and pour. The coffee is going to be way too weak. So looking now at our brewing equipment, this is a Bialetti cafetiere. We love Bialetti because it's just such an iconic brand and the quality materials is great. This is an 8-cup cafetiere, as I've mentioned, and we've got some beautiful borosilicate glass, okay, which is easy to clean and replaceable if it breaks. And all the material is stainless steel, so it doesn't rust. And I would suggest spending that little bit extra on a good quality French press. So the first thing we're going to do is warm up the cafetiere glass and the plunger. My tip, just use a kettle. You don't need to invest in a fancy gooseneck kettle for this. It's a huge diameter, and really it's super easy to pour right in the middle. So we're just going to use 100 degrees just off the boil, this kettle. So 100 degrees centigrade water, warm up the glass, and also you can pour this in the sink and just warm up the gauze as well. Once the cafetiere is nicely warmed up, good set of scales, turn it on and tear it. And as I said, we're looking for 60 grams of coffee. And I've prepared 60 grams of freshly roasted coffee here. And there we go, spot on 60. Okay, so what we're going to do is just pour in the hot water just enough to cover the grinds. And you can see the grinds here now blooming. So what's happening is each of the granules is opening up, and we're going to leave that for 30 seconds. So we've let the coffee bloom for 30 seconds, and we're simply going to add the rest of the hot water and get 800 milliliters of total brew. And first thing we're going to do is give the coffee a good stir. We want all those granules of coffee mixed in with the hot water so that we're releasing all the gases, releasing all the oils, giving the coffee its fullest potential to release those amazing flavors of specialty coffee. Okay, so after 4.5 minutes, 30 seconds for the bloom, and then a further 4 minutes adding the full amount of hot water, what we're going to do, a lovely little tip here, is we're going to take 2 dessert spoons and a bowl, and we're going to scoop the crema and the coffee grinds that are on the top of the Cafetiere brew to basically remove as much of the coffee granules that are floated to the top before we plunge. And that does 2 things. It reduces the amount of sediment that's in the cup, and also it's going to minimize the coffee extracting. So just plunge down and pour. And then the only thing left to do is enjoy this fantastic brew. And my word, that is absolutely stunning. So Cafetiere's done well. Incredible cup of coffee. Hope you enjoyed that.